All right, it's Barry, and today on Grow It, I'm setting up a tomato experiment for 2024. Just a quick note on the sound as well. I bought like wireless lapel microphone, got it for Amazon, and it sounds awful. So the beginning of this video, I was using that microphone, you can maybe see it here. Sounds terrible, so I've jibbed that off. I'm not going to bother with using that. So the sound will have changed in the video, but yeah, not doing anything about it. I'll just have to go back to using my wired one that I've got. That's a Rode one, really nice. If you're looking at lapel microphones, don't bother with one of those. Bluetooth ones, absolutely poo. Yeah, I'll stick with my Rode. On with the video. Well, I've had a couple of months off. I've been very busy, so I've not had as much time to come over to the allotment, and I've definitely not had any time to do any videos. But I've got a bit more time now, so hopefully I'm going to be able to do some more videos as well. And I thought, what better way than to start off with this year's tomato experiment. So, did the first one. We did the Miracle Grow tomato food experiment in the first year. Then I did loads more different foods the year after. Rats ate all of them, so that didn't come to fruition, so to speak. And then last year, I did the ones in the outstudy polytunnel. I did all the different grow bags, and if you've not watched the last video, basically that polytunnel ended up in a big massive heap. Everything got destroyed. The whole thing got obliterated by the wind. Really, really rubbish. So if you are looking at them all outsunny polytunnels, yeah, definitely give those a miss. Check out that update if you want to see what happened with that. But basically now it's been dismantled, it's been moved, and I don't have that there anymore. So this year, I thought I'll go back to basics, do a bit of a reboot, and redo that first experiment that I did in the first year. Well, it was my very first YouTube video as well, so I'm very eager to get started with that one. And it was just one grow bag with 3 plants in, and I was putting the different plant foods in with it. So not perfect in the sense that all the plants was in the same grow bag, and you know they're all getting that food, and maybe it mixed together, and the roots would be getting everything from everywhere. So not really isolated as much as I would have liked. But this year I am going to have another go at that. I've got 2 grow bags. I'll show you all in a minute. So I'm going to do 2 grow bags because I've not got polytunnel space now to do millions of grow bags, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do loads of different replicates of it and do loads of tests in the sense of having more conclusive data as far as that goes, because obviously just having one grow bag of each isn't loads of data in that sense. So it's not really conclusive, but it should maybe give us a good indication anyway. So I'm going to have one grow bag with the Tomorite. I've got that down here somewhere. So we've got the Levington Tomorite, fairly widespread plant food. I think you can get it in most places around the world. Very popular stuff. And then we've also got Miracle Grow all-purpose concentrated liquid plant food. I'm going to say it's the concentrated one. They do like a diluted one as well. It's like Miracle Grow all-purpose pour and feed. It's the same price, and I picked up one by accident because they had the green lid on, which is what they've always had, but now they've got the green lid on the pour and feed and the yellow lid on the concentrated one, because I just think it's a bit of a scam. They put a bit of water in it, give you probably a 20th or something of the actual plant food diluted with water, and they're charging the same price for it. So yeah, not for me. I'll go with a concentrated one, and then we can sort of treat everything the same. And as far as the actual tomato plants go, I've got 2 different varieties, and I've always done money makers just as like a sort of a test variety, but you don't get that many fruit on them. So I thought this year I'll go with some smaller fruiting ones. I've got like an Italian plum one, I can't remember exactly, and then I've got like a cherry tomato, like a golden one as well, because they just have loads more fruit on them. And I thought it'd be a lot better if we've got some really high yielding plants, just so that we can really see if there's actually any difference between the two. So I've got 2 of each variety of plant. I'm going to put one of each variety in each grow bag, so there's 2 plants per grow bag. Not going to bother with 3. I just think it's too many for a grow bag. And then hopefully we will see some results, and I'm going to do updates on it every week. I'm going to start doing some shorts as well in between then. It's what YouTube wants, so I'm going to do some shorts, and I'm going to start off with those doing like things that plants need, so all different nutrients, and just do quick explainers on them, because it seems like a nice thing to do. So that is the plan, basically. And maybe one day, maybe I'll have the resources to be able to do loads of grow bags with loads of plants in and do different tests on all of them. You can help me get to that point maybe by subscribing. Subscribe to the video, like the video. It helps more people see this video that are interested in this sort of thing. So that would really help out as well if you want to have a look at doing that. I'd really appreciate it. And apart from that, I think from this point with these tomato videos, because like I said, I've done a couple now, and I don't want to be going around in circles. So what I'm going to do, I'll do this year, I'll do this Miracle Grow Tomorite. I keep going to say Tomatorite. I'll do the Miracle Grow and the Tomorite. I'll compare those, and then I'll start going through different variables that we do with tomato plants, different things that we do, different watering times, maybe different ways of pruning them, different, all the different things that we do, just to see if they actually make a difference and what the difference is. So I think that'd be nice to do. So we'll do that. And what should we do before we start setting this up? I'll quick talk through on the different nutrients that are in those plant foods. There's loads of different nutrients and macronutrients that plants actually need to grow, but for this video, we'll just worry about the three primary nutrients. We've got nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and these are usually listed along with the concentration ratios on the actual packaging or whatever fertilizer it is that you're using. So I'll show you those on the ones that I'm using when we get round to that. And first up, we've got nitrogen, which is often listed on fertilizer products as its chemical symbol N. And this essential nutrient, it's responsible for leaf and stem growth, and without sufficient nitrogen, your tomato plants might appear to be stunted or they could start yellowing. So to boost nitrogen content in your soil, you can incorporate nitrogen-rich fertilizers like blood and bone meal or compost, and that'll keep your tomato plants green and healthy. And another way to boost nitrogen naturally during the off-season, you can try growing some green manure plants, and then you grow them and then you just dig them into the soil once you're done. And if you want to find out more about that, I'll leave a link to the full guide that I did using green manure crops in the description. So do check that out if it is something that you'd like to try. Next up, we have phosphorus, which is listed as P on the packaging, and this nutrient is crucial for strong root development and robust fruit production. And a lack of phosphorus, it can lead to poor flowering, and the flowers that you do get will have trouble like setting fruit, so they won't fruit very well. So look for fertilizers with a higher middle NPK number on the label, and that indicates that the phosphorus content in comparison to the other ones. And bone meal is another great option for supplementing your soil's phosphorus content, so do give that a go. And finally, we have potassium, which is indicated as K on the packaging, which is just like the others. It's the chemical symbol for potassium, and potassium plays a key role in disease resistance and overall plant health, which is important for your tomatoes. It helps them to regulate the water and the nutrients uptake from the soil, and that leads to better tolerance to stress and improved food quality. So that's all bonuses all around. Potassium-rich fertilizers, things like wood ash and potassium sulfate. So let's look at the other important factor for tomato success, and that is the pH. Tomatoes prefer soil with a pH around 6 to 6.8, and outside that range, nutrient availability can be compromised. So if the soil pH has a really big say in what nutrients the plant can actually take up from the soil and which ones are locked away that it can't get anymore. So that can really massively affect your plant's health and its productivity. And that could feed plants the perfect blend of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. But if the soil pH is wrong, those nutrients will be locked away, like I say, and they'll never actually make it into the plant. So do test your soil regularly using a pH meter or a test kit, and amend the pH as required with lime to raise the pH, or you can use sulfur to lower it. And I'll leave a link in the description for my pH testing guide videos. There's one for the full chemical test kits and one for using like one of the pH meter pens. So whichever you use, they should answer any questions that you might have. Right, that's that out of the way. So let's have a look at these tomatoes, get them planted. Right, here we go. We've got 2 grow bags, as you can see. I'm aware that not everywhere does these. Fairly widespread in the UK. We have loads of them, loads of different brands and stuff, but not everywhere has them. But as you can see with this one, I've already set this up. just so that I don't have to do two. You can watch me do it once and that should be enough. But yeah, it's basically just a big bag of compost. It's a long bag, obviously just so you can plant plants in it. It's only got 30 litres in, I think. So yeah, it's just like a 30-litre bag of compost. Sometimes they've got extra nutrients in and stuff. And these are the ones that I used for the first year. So I've gone back to these ones. I think like £3.50 or something. So I get these for doing my potting as well, because it's a bit finer than the other compost, because the other compost's dead lumpy and it's like hairy. I just don't like it. So stick with these ones. If you watched the one last year, I got one of those big Tom grow bags, like the tomato growing ones, and it had some kind of weed killer or something in it, and it was really not doing the plant any favours. It wasn't looking very well at all. So yeah, if you're interested in that, have a look. But stick with these. These have always been all right. And as you can see, I've got 2 plants in there. It's got space for 3, like marked out on it. I've gone a little bit further in because when you go right up to this line, the water just comes over and it's rubbish. So I've gone a little bit further in. I think 2 plants to one of these is fine. Out the front, we've got this one. I bought them from the garden centre just so that I knew that they'd be similar in this size, because mine aren't this big yet. So gone with these ones. So we've got Aroma tomato, so that's a plum variety, and then we've got Sun Gold, Sun Gold, a cherry variety. And like I said, these should hopefully oh sorry, I thought it swallowed a fly then. These should hopefully get loads of fruit on them, which should look really nice. We should get really good yields. And as you can see as well, I've stuck them on one of these trays. It's a grow bag tray, another thing that we have lots of, grow bag accessories. And it's basically just a big plastic tray. It's a big plastic tray. It's going to stop all the water from coming out underneath. So when I water these, because they do have drainage holes in them, it's going to catch some of that water just to stop them drying out quite as fast, because they do heat up. I mean, these are still warm from today. What time is it now? It's 8:30, and these are still warm. So they do absorb quite a bit of heat, which makes the water evaporate faster. So it's nice to keep them in one of these trays just to make sure that you're keeping them nice and hydrated. And the other good thing is, because they've got these holes, the roots will tend to find the way out. Any kind of hole like that ends up in the bottom of this bag over the next couple of months, the roots will find the way out. So it's just another way to make sure that they're not getting nutrients from somewhere else. Because like we said, doing it fresh from that first video, just to make sure that it's only getting the nutrients that we give it. It's in this plastic tray, its roots can't get out, and it's going to be nice and isolated. So first job, usually compressed, so give it a squidge, get all of the compost broken up. Get it, make sure it's sort of evenly distributed again, because if I don't, it's just going to make the water all go in different directions and everything. So I want to try and make sure that it's relatively even. The other trouble is I don't have my allotment scissors. I can't find them anywhere, so I'm using this. It's not very sharp, and that is why this looks so haphazard. So I'm just going to have to sort of rip it with this, and then hopefully it'll be all right. Oh, that's not doing too bad a job. So cutting a squirt. I'm not going to try and cut it all the way off, because I don't want to end up splitting it and just making a big mess of everything. So I'll just get, nearly fell over, just get that one as well. Where are we starting? There. And being in this place as well, where they are in the greenhouse, because my grapevines took over the other one. My other polytunnel has that big grapevine in it. It's gone absolutely berserk this year, so I have a bit less space in there. So I'm making a pig's ear of this. Yeah, I've got less space in there, so I've got to do this in the greenhouse. Like I said, the outside one was obliterated, so I can't use that one. So that's why they're up at this end of the greenhouse. And it does mean that at some point I'm going to have to devise a way of supporting these plants, because I can't stick canes in, because obviously they're in the plastic trays, so I can't get a cane through them. So I think I'm going to use the pieces from that polytunnel, the Outsunny one. I've still kept all the bars and everything, so I'll construct some kind of frame around it, and then be able to, yeah, that'll work. I'll make a frame, and then that should keep it nice and tidy. So yeah, plum tomato first. We've got Roma there going at the front, and the roots are quite nice in these. Got them this weekend, and yeah, I think they're quite nice plants. That's why I decided to go with these ones, because if you're not from the UK, you probably won't be aware, but it's been so rubbish this year, the weather. It's been really cold, it's been raining, it's just been absolutely terrible. So we've only just started getting sort of consistent temperatures. So I've only started a lot of stuff late. So my tomatoes are very small, only just getting like this, maybe first, second set of leaves on them. They're not very big at all. So I decided to get these ones from the garden centre. So we're a couple of weeks ahead. And that's a bit of a stretch. And the other good thing with these trays is if I do decide that I need to move it, it's really easy, and the bags aren't going to be like flopping around everywhere making a mess. You can just drag them around or pick them up or whatever. So quite happy to use these. Take these off. So we've got Roma at the front, some gold at the back. And the next job, I'm not going to start feeding them yet. I'll get the feed actually. I'll just show you those. I did say that I'd show you these NPK numbers, so let's have a look. So Tomorite concentrated tomato food. We'll decide which one's which at the point when we start feeding them. But every food's got its own instructions on the back, so you want to stick to those really. But for grow bags, these ones, let's read it out. So first off, NPK, it's listed on there. It is a 438. So 4 nitrogen, 3 phosphorus, 8 potassium. So it's a high potassium food, which is, as we mentioned earlier on, it's for the fruit production. So it's going to be really good for producing fruit, for producing flowers, making all that sort of stuff. So that's really good. And what do we want for grow bags? It's on here because I've looked. So in a greenhouse, it's got instructions for that. Grow bags, feed weekly, use 1.5 litres per plant, and then increase feeding to twice a week once the second truss has pea-sized fruit on it. So you start feeding it the first time. Once you get your first truss of set fruit, when the pea-sized little tiny tomatoes have started to grow, that is when we start feeding it with this. It's also when I'll start feeding it with this as well, just to be fair. Here we go, UK declaration, 735. So in comparison, let's have a look. So we've got 438 versus 735. So this has got a higher nitrogen content. So technically, we should see these plants grow more green growth. So there should be bigger stems, more leaves, all that sort of business. Phosphorus is the same. And then this has got less potassium as well. So this has got everything your plant needs for growing, basically. Whereas this has got everything your plant needs for fruiting. So I'm thinking we should hopefully see a difference. We did the first time. I think this one was actually better. But again, they was all in the same grow bag. So we can't really pay too much attention to that. So it's nice to do it again and actually see what the difference is. So what we will do, it'll be a few weeks, I think, before we start seeing any trusses and stuff developing on these and we start getting any flowers. So next job is get these watered, because they do need quite a bit of water. These are obviously dried out and they do need a good watering the first time they go in. So I'll just get my hose pipe. Oh, it's a bit leaky and I forgot to take my gloves off. Typical. So now I've got wet hands. So I'm just going to aim into the middle. You can turn it down a bit. Just so that I'm not eroding all the soil from around the plant. The trouble with grow bags is everything sort of spews out the sides and it ends up if you water them too fast, the soil starts floating and then it all makes its way out. So I'm just going to give them a good watering, and then I'm going to put some in the tray as well, just to make sure that it is well hydrated, because it'll dry out really quick. And then I'll give them a good watering every day until it starts getting a bit hotter. Then I'll probably have to start watering them twice a day. I mean, yeah, as soon as I've started watering this, it's coming out the bottom. It's gone in my shoe, I've got a wet sock. Right, so I'll put some in this tray as well. And it also doubles up as adding some humidity in the greenhouse, which is always nice. And that is it. So yeah, that is all set up, ready to go. Hopefully, a couple of weeks, we'll start seeing some fruit. But yeah, I'll do updates, I'll do regular updates with these. So I'll make sure that I do one every week and we can see how they're getting on. Well, that's all we've got time for today. Hopefully we'll see some really nice results with those and we can put it down to one of those plant foods in the end. So that'll be really nice to find out. Once they do start growing and we start getting that fruit, I'll be weighing them. Each individual fruit, maybe I'll do a spreadsheet and we'll actually get some really nice comparisons between the two. So yeah, that would be really nice to keep up to date with. Do make sure that you subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with all those updates. And check out all my other videos as well. I've got loads of tomato videos. Like I say, I've done one of these experiments every year. I've done hanging basket tomatoes. I've done guides to tomatoes, different types of tomatoes. I even did the history of tomatoes and where all the name and everything comes from. So if you're into tomatoes, do check those videos out. And let me know in the comments as well which one you think is going to win. Which tomato food or all-purpose food, which one's going to be the best. Let me know what you reckon. And if you've grown these tomato varieties as well, I grew some gold last year and they were really nice. Really like those. So that's why I thought I'd get them when I saw them. I was quite pleased with that. Yeah, let me know which ones you grow as well, because I got a suggestion. Where is it? Shirley. I got that off someone last year. I can't remember. I couldn't find the comment who said it. So sorry, I can't remember who did it. But yeah, Shirley F1. I've got 2 plants here with those. And then I can't read which ones they are over there. But yeah, picked up some other ones while I was there because I'm just so impatient. I can't be bothered waiting for all of mine to grow, so I've just gone and bought some more anyway. And then I'll fit the others in the polytunnel. I've got some raised beds to put in as well. I'll try some outdoor ones maybe. But yeah, that's everything. So yeah, I'll see you next time.